Speaking of amazing, our convocation speaker today, the Honorable Eva Guzman. She's a trailblazer of the Texas Bar. She has an impressive history as both a practitioner and a public servant. She's currently a partner at Wright, Close & Barger in Houston, where her practice is focused on appellate work, mediation and arbitration in state and federal courts. She's also experienced in commercial litigation. In fact, she's currently serving as general counsel for the Texas Association of Business. Justice Guzman may be best known to all of you as a member of the Texas Supreme Court, on which she served from 2009 until June 2021. Justice Guzman made history when she became the first Latina to serve on the Texas Supreme Court and the first to be elected to statewide office in Texas. Justice Guzman served as the longtime chair of the Supreme Court's Permanent Judicial Commission for Children, Youth, and Families, working to improve the well-being of Texas' most vulnerable children. She also served on the Texas Access to Justice Commission, expanding legal access for low-income Texans and veterans. I'm so thrilled she's with us here today. Justice Guzman, you're a model of what we aspire for our graduates. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to y'all a great lawyer, a great justice, and a great Texan, the Honorable Eva Guzman.
Thank you, Dean Chesney, for that kind introduction. Esteemed faculty, distinguished guests, family members, parents, and class of 2023, I'm deeply honored to join you today. But before I begin my formal remarks, I want to start with why we're here. Congratulations, class of 2023. Maitland, the great scholar of English legal history, said, "Taught law is tough law." His simple observation stands as a powerful reminder of the importance and lasting influence of one's legal education. Today, we honor the culmination of your legal education and we celebrate your achievements in law school. Each of you will receive a beautiful diploma. I still smile when I see mine in my office, but not from this law school. But treasure that diploma as a tangible reward for hard-earned knowledge. From here on out, your reward for work well done will be more work and more work and more work. I welcome you to this hardworking but very rewarding profession. When graduation is behind you, a whole new life will await you. Not a life with spring break and summer break and winter break. That life's behind you. Though you will surely miss those parts of law school life, you are entering a new season, beginning a new journey. Today marks the commencement of your lives in the law. And we celebrate the amazing possibilities that lay ahead because you're equipped today. As you sit here today, you're equipped to do extraordinary things. Mr. Onyadiri, your remarks were inspiring. And I am also going to talk about your next chapter. Are you ready to write your story? How will you fill the pages? Will your stories be about winning, fame and fortune, prestige and power? I hope so, but I also hope this. I hope you will aim higher. I hope you'll go beyond the trappings of success to find significance in the high calling of our noble profession. You will accomplish more if you love what you do. And let me repeat that. You gotta love what you do. Find your passion. Some of you may have a passion for negotiation and deal making, or you yearn to become trial lawyers or appellate advocates, or you want to enter the public sector, prosecutors, public defenders, or judges. Some of you may want to teach law. That's only if your professors left a really good mark on you. Wherever your story takes you, find the sweet spot where your passion and your craft become one, where you love doing and what you love doing becomes your art and your high calling. Let me share a little bit about my journey in life and in law. After 10 years in private practice, I felt the pull to public service. And so I applied for, an opportunity arose, and I applied for an opening on a state district court bench. I knew I had to take that chance, even though I'd never run for office, had no political ties, and no judicial experience. I turned the page, and I began a new chapter in my life, unsure, uncertain, but unrelenting in the pursuit of my passion. And I was relatively young to become a judge, so the interviewer asked me, "Do you plan to sit on this trial court for the next 20 years?" I answered, "No, I'll be on the Supreme Court of Texas one day." That was a really bold answer at the time, but it's one that set the course for the chapters ahead. I received the appointment to that bench 11 days later, then was fortunate enough to be appointed and elected to the 14th Court of Appeals in Houston and ultimately to the Supreme Court of Texas, which was the honor of a lifetime. So as you step into your role, you're the author of your aspirations. I say be bold, take risk. Don't limit your dreams. Say yes to opportunity, and most importantly, don't let anyone else define for you what your next chapter will look like. Let's talk about the essentials. The first is a commitment to excellence. Wherever your story leads you, do your best, commit to excellence. And that means showing up prepared. Famed football coach Lou Holtz had a motto: preparation is everything. One of his former athletes said, "We never had a game as hard as practice." That's the kind of commitment to excellence you want to permeate your story. Become a master of your craft. Be a lawyer who lives in the truth, whose words can be trusted. Be a lawyer that we, as a profession, want to celebrate and emulate. A legal career is not the work of a moment. It's built over time, like a story, chapter by chapter. And I want to talk about the second essential, and that's perseverance. Albert Einstein credited his achievements not to his genius, but to perseverance. "It's not that I'm so smart," he said. "It's just that I stay with problems longer." I know a thing or two about staying with problems. Growing up, perseverance was a way of life for me and my family. I encountered obstacles, I suffered disappointments, I faced setbacks, I stumbled, I fell, and I got back up again. I'm a big city Latina who grew up in Houston's East End, the middle of 7 children, the daughter of immigrants who had grade school educations. As a child, I saw firsthand the value of a strong work ethic. Like my siblings, I took a job as a teenager in a drapery factory. The factory owners thought I was 16, and I thought $2 an hour was just a great wage. But despite their lack of a formal education, my parents knew the value of education in a country that's teeming with opportunity. And they would spur in us the desire to excel. They would live to see all 7 of their children graduate from college. The path of perseverance took us from humble beginnings to high places in science and government and law, and it took me to the top tier of the Texas judiciary. And today our family is celebrating my niece, my parents' granddaughter, who has been accepted to the University of Texas McGovern School of Medicine. She'll be the first doctor in our family. Looking back at where I began and standing here today as your convocation speaker makes me especially grateful for my law degree. It opens doors. It changes lives, your lives and the lives of your clients. It takes your legacy in a different direction. This was said by Jason, but as every UT student knows, what starts here changes the world. What starts here starts with you. And you're certainly off to a stellar start. The sunflowers on your lapels prove that you know what it means to persevere. Talent and intellect have gotten you here, of course, but not without perseverance. The grit to push past obstacles and overcome defeat has been part of your journey. Remember that perseverance is not one long race. It's many short races, one after another. Make perseverance a part of your story. And as you persevere and pursue your lives in the law, I hope you'll weave service to others into the fabric of your story, not just to your clients, but to our profession, to our system of justice. You heard I served as chair of the Texas Access to Justice Commission. I worked alongside others in our profession to help ensure that every Texan had access to our courts. In my work, I saw firsthand the struggles of Texans who no one hears, who aren't seen. Like the single mother I met in South Texas who was dying of cancer and needed a guardianship for her small child, or the veteran who sacrificed all for her country and couldn't get the benefits she was promised and entitled to. And sadly, I met more than one wrongfully convicted person crying tears of joy because a lawyer answered the call to serve and secured his exoneration. What you do for others today shapes what they'll do for others tomorrow. You may have read the story of Rehan Staten, but it's a powerful reminder of how we help shape the paths for others. Rehan was a sanitation worker in Maryland. He dreamed of going to college. Then he dreamed of going to law school. May the 24th, he will receive his law degree from Harvard Law School. Not surprisingly, Rehan has already raised $70,000 for the sanitation workers at Harvard. But like Rehan, I hope you'll honor your opportunities by giving something back. This call to service is what will make justice accessible to all. It's one of the enduring traditions of our profession, and it's a core part of the legacy you as graduates of this revered law school will carry forward. Former Texas Supreme Court Chief Justice Wallace Jefferson captured the essence of the mission when he spoke of the legacy of the late Chief Justice Jack Pope. He reaffirmed that we must all work to ensure that all Texans, rich or poor, are welcome in the halls of justice. That's where you can and will make a difference. During your time in law school, some of you've championed access to justice. You've stood strong against the winds of inequality. You've taken on difficult causes. You've made your presence known in the classroom, courtrooms, and even in the halls of our Texas legislature. I challenge you to continue to champion the cause of justice. Remember, as it's been said, you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. In closing, I want to emphasize and underscore the importance of excellence, perseverance, service, and gratitude, because they fuel a life well lived in the law. Make them part of your story. As your story develops, expect to edit every now and then. You might have to change some plot lines. You might have to work in a chapter you hadn't planned. You might find yourself in adventures you never imagined. There are no rules, but as a lawyer, it's in my DNA to give advice. Be brave, be authentic, and make it memorable. Congratulations, class of 2023, and hook 'em!